Yes, we are live. So hello everyone and welcome to the webinar and thank you all for joining today. My name is Olena Gryniuk. I'm regional manager for the Central Eastern Europe at the SME Banking Club, and I will host today's webinar. And today we'll be talking and discussing digital factoring solutions for the SMEs here in the Central Eastern Europe region and the analysis for this market for this year. And I'm very glad to be joined today by Lukasz Adamczyk, Invoice Finance Product Owner at ING Bank Śląski in Poland. Hello, Lukasz, and welcome.
Yeah, just the speaker. Hello, everyone. Yeah, nice to be a part of this event.
Thank you, Lukasz, for joining. And yes, before we start the discussion and the presentation, so let me shortly mention organizational moments. So our webinar is scheduled for 45 minutes. We are recording this webinar, so right after we finish, you will receive the link to the video and to the presentation. And in the end of the webinar, we will have time for your questions. So we will start from the presentation, and right after we finish, we will be answering your questions. So please type your questions into the chat, and you can type them starting from now, let's say from the very beginning. So this is it, and let us go to the topic. So I would like to start from the overview of the Central Eastern Europe market here. So we at SME Banking Club every year, so this is actually second year that we are doing the analysis of the digital factoring solutions available here in the region for the SME, for the micro and small companies. And this year it covered 6 countries, which are Poland, Romania, Latvia, Lithuania, Turkey, and Serbia. So these are the countries where digital processes for the factoring are available for SMEs. So this year also, these are the good news that we have new players here on the market. So in general, this year studies covers 17 companies, so bank and factoring companies and factoring fintechs in the region. And here is very interesting situation, and I'm really glad to see this, honestly, that this year we have 10 representatives of fintech, of factoring fintechs, offering digital solutions for the SMEs, and 7 banks. So these are the 17 companies doing digital factoring at the moment. So we did the analysis of the 17 companies with also 70 parameters. In the final study, which is available for our members, there will be presentations with a full description of the base cases in the region, and also such table with the comparison of the functionalities of the players that were analyzed this year. And let me now shortly present what it is all about this year. So as you probably know that last year all the lockdowns caused that trade and the volumes of the trade within the European countries decreased, and this influenced also small businesses a lot. And this also caused that in general, factoring companies showed a decline in their revenues and the number of financed invoices. During last year, several countries from the Central Eastern Europe showed some positive results, which is Poland and Romania and Turkey. So this was around 3% of the increase. So, and also there are the opportunities here. So first of all, of course, small businesses got the extension of payment and delays in payments of their invoices. And also many banks restricted their credit policies and restricted financing of SMEs, or some industries touched with the lockdowns and with the pandemic the most. So they were restricted in the receiving finance, and this was actually the chance to digital solutions for the factoring companies. And And this is good news that we actually see these new solutions on the market. So from around 75 factoring companies, so banks and factoring organizations here in the CEE region, 17 offering at least partial digital process for SMEs, and we consider that these are the companies that are targeting small businesses, because this is like from the paying off then from the for the two sides, for the banks as well, because if there is no digital process and the process is manual or semi-manual, then this is for the small tickets, this is not paying off for the banks, and then they're targeting mainly bigger companies, so mid-market and corporate customers. And also for the SMEs, because usually they do not have time to process all the documents manually, so they really need some very quick solutions. So, and if we watch here on the country distribution, so the biggest number of such solutions and offers are presented in Poland right now. So we have 7, so 4 fintechs and 3 banks are doing digital factoring for SMEs. Second country, which is a good news actually, is Turkey, having 3 banks here. 2 of them offering online application, and top factoring this year implemented mobile and online process for SMEs for the factoring, and new fintech called Czechpara also appeared on the market. We have new player from Serbia, which is a factoring fintech called FinSpot, and we have 2 players from Latvia and Lithuania, which are Flex ID and SME Finance. In Romania, 3 players, so Banca Transilvania offering only online application for the factoring, and 2 companies, Instant Factoring and OmniCredit, offering digital factoring for SMEs. So this is the country distribution at the moment. What are the changes that we see this year in the region? So, as I mentioned, the biggest numbers of the factoring company with digital processes in Poland, and second place, Turkey, which is new this year. So, congratulations to Turkey. And also interesting, we have here in the region 2 interesting cases. So this year, TBI Bank in Romania implemented microfactoring for their entrepreneurs with instant factoring fintech that I just mentioned from Romania. And also last year we had a good example in Poland that from Santander Bank, which is doing also co-branded digital factoring with NFG factoring company. So these are 2 good examples here in the CEE regions when banks are cooperating with factoring companies and fintechs to provide digital factoring for small businesses. And 12 companies have fully digital factoring process, meaning that the customer can apply and finish the process of signing factoring agreement and finance, and upload and finance, and get the finance with the invoice purely online. So without any visits to the branches or visiting relationship managers or signing some paper agreements. So this is done with the implementation of digital signatures. This is also plus 4 companies this year. And also 4 companies have full mobile application and mobile process for factoring. Yes, so this, if we watch at the aggregated products which is financed via this via digital processes, so this is mainly domestic recourse factoring for SMEs. 4 companies offers international factoring, which is also new this year, because last year it was only domestic factoring. So the days of the finance is from 7 to 90 days. Minimum amount from €5 to maximum amount per invoice is €250,000, which is also increased this year. Percentage of finance from 70 up to 100%. Time to cash, so the time during which their customer can receive the invoice, I mean the funds and invoice finance, starts from 15 minutes on the market till 24 hours. And there are some integrations on the market with invoicing solutions and with online accounting systems, and also some integrations with online or mobile banking. KYC process is done mainly by proceeding a transaction for $1, $1 log, or $1, or mainly it is done in local currency from the customer's bank account. Or also there is, in some players offers also possibility for the customer to upload a proof of the latest either social security or tax payments to prove the existing and KYC. So here I wanted actually to show you shortly several examples, new examples here on the market to show you what are the functionalities and how some processes look like. And so the first one is Çekpara from Turkey. The interesting process here is that they offer only mobile, so mobile only process for the invoice financing. So the customer should enter the website, download the Çekpara application from the application store, and sign up in the application already with the customer information, company's information. After that, the customer is uploading the invoice which they want to finance. And also in Turkey, this is an interesting specifics that they have also post-dated checks, which are used as the minimum payment among the small businesses, and all of them have QR codes. And so here this QR code also can be uploaded. After that, automatically the scoring decides whether to finance this invoice or not. Within 2 seconds, customer receives the answer, and if the customer approves, the next step is to enter customer bank account where the money should be transferred. And then here is a process when in Turkey these checks are not digitalized, so they are existing in the physical form. And then the Çekpara created such a process and solution that a mobile courier, which are running very fast in the city and located in 15 minutes distance from the customer, is coming physically and pick up these checks. And after the proof of this check existence, then he verifies this in the applications, approves this in the application, and then customer receives money at the current account within 1 minute. So the digital processes here is really done within several minutes, while this physical process is taking like up to 15-30 minutes. So total time for the customer is like 35 minutes to receive the finance. Very good news from TEP Factoring also in Turkey. So TEP, this is a BNP Paribas group in Turkey. They also this year launched both online and mobile processes for the factoring for SME companies. And also, as I mentioned here, first factoring fintech from Serbia called FinSpot, also offering fully digital process for the factoring for Serbian SMEs. So these are the new examples that I wanted to share with you. And now I see we have some comments and questions here. So let us get back to it in the end of the webinar. And now I'm ready to pass the word to Lukasz to share with us what is the process in the ING Bank Poland.
Yeah. Well, hello everyone. One more time. I will just try to present my desktop.
Yes, we see it.
Okay, you see it, eh?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so one more time. My name is Lukasz Adamczyk. I'm a product microfactoring product owner, at ING Bank and ING Commercial Finance. It's a joint venture of ING Polish entities. So this is that kind of project. Actually, I was invited by Olena to speak about registration and invoice financing process in digital invoice financing service. I've got some slides. However, I will share with you a live demo of the financing process as well. What should be, in my opinion, even more interested for you. So one thing worth mentioning before the presentation starts, currently the customer has two options to register in the ING Digital Invoice Financing Service. The first one is via ING accounting system, and the second one via a dedicated website. It's a finansowaniefaktur.pl. But most importantly, we are working on a single sign-on for two ING banking applications for entrepreneurs and for medium-sized enterprises, which will be implemented in the near future. And actually, I can say I would say absolute confidence, is a huge milestone for this service, because as a result, we will gain access to approximately 500,000 companies that are ING business customers. So actually, the registration form is very simple. The customer provides the tax ID, and thanks to the connection with Central Business Information Record and National Card Register systems, which are nationwide database of entities participating in business transactions. We pull a lot of clients' information in the process background. So customer doesn't have to provide many detailed information. What's more, we don't really have an agreement with customers. It's a very interesting matter. Even more generally, have no such document as an agreement. However, I would say the agreement purpose fulfills general terms and conditions, which has to be mandatory accepted in the registration process by customer. So customer gives consent to its company verification. We checked this company in the debtors, databases, business information bureaus, so on and so forth, and generally that's all. I will not present this matter on the slides. However, the customer has to make a penny transfer. Yeah, Olena was mentioned before about this process. Client has to make a penny transfer for company's account to authenticate himself, to confirm his data, and ability to take obligations on behalf of the company. This is especially important in case of limited companies, where we have to verify users' authorizations in the financial decision-making context behalf of this company. So obviously, in the background, KYC process takes place, during which the customer and his company is verified for the usage of invoice financing service. He doesn't need to have an account at ING Bank, of course. However, vast majority of business customers using our platform, and they are already ING Bank customers. So therefore, the KYC process is much more simplified for us. Okay, so maybe to summarize this part, this registration process, registrant only needs to provide us with basic personal information, so like name, surname, like phone number, email address, and have to set a new password. So I will switch for a sec the financing process demo. Okay, it's here. This is the dashboard of our application. I will show it, of course, in the real time. All activities presented here will be performed on a testing application environment, I would say. So don't get nervous. We are not going to pay any money. So customer log into the application, user the email address. In the central application section, there is a dashboard with information about general and granted limit, about utilized limit, and information about available limit. Customers also have the ability to request higher limits, higher overall limits, and limits per each buyer. On the left side, there is a drag and drop invoice functionality, or the invoice can be downloading from the computer or smartphone. So on the other side, the customer has the option to upload a JPK VAT file on the basis of which we can increase customer and buyer limits. Here, one additional comment from my side is necessary to explain. JPK VAT file is a monthly summary of both companies' revenue and cost invoices, and it has to be mandatory submitted to the Ministry of Finance every month. Certainly, I wouldn't call it as a pure financial data. Yeah. However, it's definitely some, let's say, some substitute of information that can provide us an understanding of company size and an understanding of his limit needs. Yeah. So what's more, below there is a list of invoices that customer has ordered for financing in the past, with information about their status, about their value, due date, so on and so forth. And basically every relevant invoice information can be found in this section. So now I'm going to try to submit an invoice for financing. So firstly, I select a particular deferred invoice that I want to finance. I have to type in the number, invoice number. The gross amount, of course, and the VAT amount. Here I can also decide if I wanted to finance only some part of the invoice, for example, 50%, or I don't know, 70 or 92% of the invoice value. Then I choose, and it's here, the issue date and the payment day. Yeah, and one crucial thing, because sometimes we got that kind of question regarding this part of the process. Someone might ask, and I think that is reasonable ask, why don't you use an OCR tool to read invoice images and turned them into text? So my answer is we tested so many different tools, and the percentage of fully read information was disappointing in a nutshell. Yeah. And also disappointing was the time which client required by the online process that the tool takes to read this data. So as a contrast, I would say that our regular financing customer completed this form in less time than OCR is able to do it for them. So we are looking, of course, at these tools, keeping fingers crossed by this solution and looking forward to improving this technology, because one day we would like to use this solution with confidence and apply it to our process without risking a drop in conversion. So concluding this topic, we are up to date with OCR solutions. I'm certain as soon as there is a quality solutions that will make satisfy us, we will definitely decide to implement it to the digital invoice financing. Okay, so well, at the last step, the customer filling the buyer details. So the tax identification number, email address, and telephone number. Yeah, I think that something went wrong. It's our test environment, but something went wrong because I do not have this button activated with the amount of money which should be calculated regarding this particular issue, invoice, sorry. Okay, so once again, sorry. Okay. Okay, so one more time, because probably I speak for too long time. Okay, so one more time. I pick up the invoice from the computer or smartphone, it could be. Type in the invoice number, the gross amount of the invoice and the VAT, then issue date, the date of payment, let's say, and the buyer's details. So yeah. So now, after providing this data with this specific buyer, because I do it for the second time, as you have seen, this data was automated filling in this form. And okay, so details, all the details was entered, and invoice financing cost is presented here. It's 149 Polish zloty, and the customer can either accept or reject this proposition at this stage. So, and in this particular case, it's the customer first invoice, so we can finance it for free. It's you save that amount of money, it's a part of our standard offer where every customer's first invoice is free of charge. So it's a standard situation. Normally, we would charge, as I mentioned before, 149 zloty, and customer got the information that this is exactly the amount they saved. So in generally, it's worth mentioning, we have a few features that are beneficial.
I think we have some problems, yes, with Lukasz connection right now. Here, so let us wait for Lukasz to connect with us. Once again, I see that we have a lot of questions. This is good. So I can start while we're waiting, maybe answering some of them to save the time. Yes, so I think that partially we answered already here during our presentations. For the Serbia, yes. For the, yes, thank you for comment from Tony that instant factoring will be also available soon in Serbia too. These are really great news. This is great to hear. Lukasz, are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back, but I don't know what
the screen is uploading at the moment.
Okay, so I will come back to the presentation. Okay, so this is here. Yeah, I don't know when was the split in the transfer.
So like it was, so you were to push the button invoice the finance the invoice.
Okay, so I will try to repeat it. So generally, because I was say something about our loyal program, because you have seen that this particular invoice, it was the first invoice, it was free of charge, because we have a few features that are beneficial to customers in the process of financing invoices with ING, and this discount program for loyal customers is one of many. Okay, so this customer decided to accept the proposal. Yeah, so he still received a pop-up, which I try to show you at that moment. A crucial invisible part of the process takes place. It's the verification. Verification in order to check if we can finance the invoice or not. The invoice financing risk service, it's our, I would say, secret sauce, and is based on verification of multiple factors. For obvious reason, I can't talk about the details of risk service system. However, the verification of both sides take place here. I mean, customer and buyer. And as I mentioned you before, we checked, for example, data, debtors, databases, business information bureaus, and many, many more. So in top of that, I would say, based on history of our defaults, we've built a machine learning and self-learning scoring card that takes into account several factors. It evaluates these particular transactions, giving a score for every particular transaction. Obviously, if the number of points is not high enough, I would say, the transaction is being rejected. Okay, so coming back to the financing process. In the meantime, the buyer, I was the buyer too as well, because it was my email address. Buyer received an email about his contractor's willingness to invoice financing, and invoice image is attached here. Yeah, this is this invoice, and that images includes a stamp here, and thanks to that, there is an account number that the buyer should transfer the payment. So it's our ING account. And so in order to confirm the invoice, he has to click on the link. So he sees the entire specification here, and crucially confirms that the service has been delivered. He has no objections and disputes, for example, and he will make the payment directly to the ING account. And this is all from my side. As a buyer, I confirmed this particular invoice. And that's all. Yeah, this is all the process. The money within a few minutes are transferred to client's account.
Will you get back with your screen, Lukasz, or this is it?
Yeah, this is it.
Okay.
This was the last. This is the last part of the financing process, because buyer confirmed this invoice and the money was transferred to the customer's account.
Yes, I would like here also, thank you, Lukasz, for sharing this with us. And I would like here to add that the solution from ING Bank was one of the first, not only on Polish market, but generally in the CEE region. It was implemented 2 or 3 years ago. Correct me, Lukasz, if I'm wrong. And 3 years, yes. And it is available. And from the beginning, it was implemented in a way that it is available for the customer also from the e-invoicing and online accounting, which is available for the entrepreneurs, and ING Bank offers this for their entrepreneurs in Poland. So let's get then to your questions, because I see here many. So regarding is the service available for the customers of ING, and is this available only in Polish market?
Yeah, it was the first question I've seen. Is the service only for the customers of ING? No, but vast majority of our clients are ING clients as well. It's open because it's a website application, finansowaniefaktur.pl. And even if the client has an account in the different Polish banks, a part of ING, we could still finance him. Yeah.
And available only in Polish market, right? So I actually haven't seen that in ING Group. On other markets there was such a solution. So only in Poland at the moment, right?
Yeah, only in Poland at the moment, and only for Polish entities, I would say.
Yes, I see here the comment about the English version of the platform. Yes, so it is in Polish because it is targeted for the Polish entrepreneurs. For in our presentations and for our members, we have some screens and we translated them into English. So if you are a member, we will share with this. But generally speaking, like for the ING, there is no need to translate. I mean, what we do also, I mean, from our experience, this Google Translator helps almost every time when we are checking, for example, websites of other countries. But for the targeted audience, yes, so this is a domestic one. How do you know invoice is real? Is there an assignment letter for the debtor? I think we answered this question in the presentation, right?
Yes, but I would like to add something. It's a very tricky question, I would say, but let's be honest, it's not knowledge I want to spread out, of course. This is our learned know-how, which we strongly protect. But I can just confirm that we use both our ING in-house and external provider solutions. So I can only say that.
Yes, I will also probably add here that there are solutions on the market and the technology that make this process available, and actually a lot of things that can be checked if the invoice is real can be done digitally and cannot be done manually. For example, we had a presentation last year and we also discussed this question, and there was an example from the fintech, Polish fintech, of course with no details of the provider, but still having all these algorithms implemented. You can check, which is one of the most or one of the main frauds in the invoicing. Yes, that the invoice is issued either to connected parties or it is issued. So the mechanism allows to check whether the invoice is issued electronically, either from the one office, either from the one building or location, or from the one IP address. And then this can be a knockout criteria, then that such invoices are just not financed within this product, because then you can you issue, then the person on the counterparty is sitting the next table to you, or maybe you are the only person, and of course you confirm this anytime, and you confirm it for 100%, and then this can be a fraud. So these cases that are really done automatically, and this can be checked. I mean, such things can be checked very fast, like in several seconds. So just an example.
Fully agree.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So how do you finance without a factoring contract in place? Yes, because this is a good question. I know that in several countries, like for example, I know this from Turkey, that they obliged to, I think in Serbia as well, they obliged to sign an annual factoring agreement, let's say, and then within this annual agreement, then invoices can be financed, invoice per invoice, one by one, with these uploads in several minutes. How do you do this?
Yeah, I would say in classic ING invoice factoring. I mean this one for the higher limits, counting by millions. Of course, there is a agreement, yeah. But this process I've shown you. This is the only micro factoring. It's for lowest limit, I would say, 200 PLN zloty. So it's about 45,000 euro. It's a maximum limit, and our clients are of course, I would say, sole entrepreneurs and small companies, small limited companies, because these limits are too low for the bigger companies. And this is the fully digital process. And as I mentioned you before, general terms and conditions, which has to be mandatory accepted in the registration process, is somehow a kind of an agreement, because in the microfactoring, in the ING digital invoice financing process, we do not finance a whole wallet of the invoices. We can and we give the client possibility to find the invoice, this one invoice, single invoice, which should be, for example, financed because he has, for example, this month he hasn't so high, I would say, problems with cash flow, and maybe that's why general terms and conditions say that our proposition, this part which was the amount of money which should be paid for finance these invoices, this is the proposition, our proposition. And if you as a sole entrepreneur, you can reject it or accept. And if accept, we just evaluate this only one particular invoices. We don't care if you have, I don't know, 100 invoices this month. We just make the evaluation of this one single particular invoice, and that's the issue.
Mm-hmm. Do you have invoice insurance in your platform or system?
Not yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then the question from Rennie: why only Poland? So, well, I think this is the question of the ING Group strategy, maybe. Yes, but I know that ING Bank in Poland is ready to deliver bank as a service. So, because, for example, the online and mobile banking solutions were also implemented in other countries of the group. So I think this is also possible.
Yeah, of course, we are. To be honest, of course, we share our experiences with colleagues from ING abroad, and often are talking about this kind of solution. However, I think that for the next 2 years, maybe we should focus only on the Polish market, just to scale it up.
What is the minimum invoice size for the financing?
It's 250 zloty, so a little above 50 euros.
50 years, but we saw like this. Then the amounts are really minimal
really low
now. Yeah, very very low. Yes, so there are examples from Russia. We do not cover in this study Russia as a market, so haven't analyzed these. Also, there was a question regarding the Czech Republic. Also, no examples at the moment from Czech Republic in terms of digital processes. In the factoring for the lending they have, and we do it in the digital lending solutions. For the factoring, not yet. So, my maybe last question, Lukasz, to you is I see somebody's typing still, so we have several minutes maybe. Yes, we have from Christian: for a full turnover factoring, can customers use the platform? Full turnover.
No, it's a recourse factoring, I would say.
Yes. What are your predictions, Lukasz, for the, I don't know, let's say next maybe year or two in terms of microfactoring market?
I would say the first half of this year was much better than everybody expected. Yeah.
Yes.
And we have seen it also in our solution, our product. I think are still good. Yeah, are still good. Of course, I'm worried about several things. The first one is the situation in China nowadays with Evergrande. Probably everybody everybody heard about this. So the biggest real estate developer. Obviously, I'm worried regarding our local market here in Poland about inflation rate, but it's I would say it's a problem of I would say more than a half of Europe nowadays after pandemic era.
Yeah.
And regarding Poland market, I have I'm worried also about the investment rate of the investment in Poland. But in short term, I think that till the end of the year, I expect rather further dynamic growth of volumes in the factoring industry.
Yes, just to add here that actually last week the numbers for the first half of this year was revealed on the Polish market in terms of factoring, and it was 24% decrease
24%.
compared to the first half of the last year. So yes, the dynamics are good. So so good luck and more sales to you, Lukasz, and to all factors here in the region. I think we can end our webinars. No questions, and we are coming to the end of our time. So thank you very much for joining and participating very actively in this webinar. Thank you, Lukasz, once again for sharing your experience in ING, and good luck. And thank you all, and see you next time online.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody, and take care. Bye.
Bye.